Welcome to Chasing Truth, a show produced for those who love and deeply value the truth. Today we're going to look at the issue of drag queen story hour that's just sweeping our nation and the related gender issues. The times, well, they are a-changing. But whoever would have thought times would change this much? I mean, think about it. Wake up, take a look. It's truly alarming. Today, radical social and political agendas have hijacked and redefined human sexuality. There are 50, maybe 60 plus gender possibilities today. In our public schools, they're encouraging children to choose whatever they identify with. Then they create a support network for protecting and facilitating these choices among our children. Now here's the big question. If the human brain doesn't fully develop until you're at least in your early 20s, including your cognitive abilities to reason, why would we allow our children to make such drastic and high-impact, life-changing decisions? What are we thinking? Now, another example of this radicalization that's sweeping the nation in terms of human sexuality, a redefinition of human sexuality and gender, is the new National Drag Queen Story Hour. So drag queens are now reading stories to little children in libraries across the nation. You say, what's a drag queen, right? Well, our current definition is a man who dresses like a woman and impersonates female characteristics. A biblical definition? Well, it's a transvestite, a person who dresses in the clothes of the opposite sex. Now, this is from their website, dragqueensstoryhour.org FAQ. This is right on their page. Let me quote it. Our agenda is simple. We believe that people of all ages should be free to express themselves however they want, free from the constraints of prescribed gender roles. In other words, there's no such thing as girl clothes or boy clothes, unquote. So, men who socially identify as women and dress up like them think your children should be free to do the same. They believe if your child wants to be a transvestite, they should have that as a right. And as a parent, well, you just better get on the bandwagon. Now, in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to read this from the LiveSite News, July 1st, 2019, it says, quote, a West Coast public library drag queen storytime has evolved beyond drag queens reading pro-gay and pro-transgendered books to kids to permitting children to frolic on the floor and lie on top of a man dressed as a woman. I mean, this is like, it's alarming, like I stated at the beginning of the show. You can Google it. You can look at the photos for yourselves. I looked, I was shocked. I could not believe it. Now, let me just state this. If I came home from work and found out that my local library was hosting this and that my children were frolicking on the floor on top of a transvestite, I would quit my job. I'd organize a grassroots movement and a GoFundMe page, and I'd bring lawsuits one after another against the local library, its workers, the city council and its members, the transvestite, and anyone who had any part in that event. Parents, you need to wake up. You better hold these radicals accountable through ongoing lawsuits, or the time will come when God does something that will shake all of us beyond what we can comprehend. Wake up. Wake up. It's time for us to mobilize and vote these kind of people out of office or sue them for putting our children at risk with their radicalized agendas. So what does God say about this? Well, we just had our Torah portion. We read this just recently. I think it was Ki Tetzeh. And I came across this passage in Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. It says this, a woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. Now, parents, think about that. That is the word of the Lord. Let me read it again. A woman shall not wear a man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. Think about it. Do you want your children to become abhorrent to the Creator of all things seen and unseen? Do you want your children to become abominable to the Lord your God? Not only will you anger the Lord, your children will grow up and one day hold you accountable for the defilement and destruction you brought into their lives. Repent. Turn away from this. You say, well, what can we do, right? It's all around us. I mean, it's just permeating society. The changes are coming so fast we can't even keep track of them. Well, I say this. We need to continue to write our religious and civil leaders and tell them they've gone too far. We need to demand a voucher system in education so that parents can choose a school that will teach traditional family values rather than schools that teach these radical and bizarre ideas about human sexuality. Schools that want to teach radical and dangerous ideals will have to compete with schools that teach tested traditional family values. A voucher system will give everyone in America the right to choose, not just radicals who are dominating and hijacking our public school systems. If we do not get a voucher system in place very soon, I predict that God will use some deeply shocking things and events to address this ongoing and growing assault against our children. Now, while we give them, our leaders, religious leaders and civil leaders, a chance to get this right, be sure to teach your children the truth about human sexuality from a biblical and scientific-based paradigm. Teach your kids to be kind and loving and respectful of everyone, but inform them that these radical ideas that are being taught are lies and are evil, producing misery and leading to death. Leave your churches and leave your synagogues that teach these disgusting ideas and find ones that will stand with God in His clear revelation of human sexuality. And be sure to tell your religious leaders why you are leaving. Remind them of the word of our God. Vengeance is mine and retribution. In due time, their foot will slip, for the day of their calamity is near, and the impending things are hastening upon them. Well, that's it. Thanks for chasing truth with me on this all-important matter. Please subscribe to this channel, comment below, and if you have a chance, check out all of our social media at graftedin.com. Thanks.